20, whichever.
So it's kind of weird where you're going to ask the employee to leave 11:30 and come back for 20 minutes at 2 o'clock to do your dispatch. But
I agree. I agree. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know, whether I'm going to have difficulty filling these jobs or keeping people in them or not.
I can see,
Trying to make it as appealing as possible. We could do it differently. We could work, 3 hours in the morning and then bring her back for an hour and 20 minutes in the afternoon. I mean, you've got to split it because you've got a roll carrier that you have to get on the street and you've got a collection box that you've got to collect. So you've got those two things that can't change. So, I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you.
This paper you provided us here, I don't think nobody had thought out the collection box being picked up at 2:15, so that's going to be a little hiccup for you guys to adjust.
We knew going into this that the collection boxes would not change. And I'll be honest with you, I'm starting with Aroostook County, but I also have the 044 and 046 zip code areas, and dispatch up here, collection box times up here is pretty early.
It's early.
Yes. I've got 4-hour operations that collect their mail right now at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. I mean, that's a big concern to me. How does this job get appealing to the point where somebody's going to take it without you pretty much taking a chunk out of the morning and a chunk out of their afternoon and ruining the whole day? It's a tough call. It's not going to be for everybody.
Now, question on the subject while you're answering questions. I experienced this because when I moved back here from, I'm going to say down south, my wife, for some reason, told University of Maine that my street address was 351 Main Street. Disregarded the P.O. box. The chicks kept coming in, and the postmaster here kept sending them back because it was the wrong address. Is that normal procedure? Where
No.
If you know where the person you delivered the mail.
It's very easy. It's very black and white. I always have a problem understanding why postal employees say it's confusing. It's not.
Right.
If you have a change of address,
Right.
you have a forward on file. There's regulations that tell you how to handle that mail. If there's no forward on file and it's just mail, it may come in, Nanny Sue, Jonesport, Maine.
Right.
If people know where it goes, then it defaults to a policy. There's no regulation to cover it, but the policy is, if you know where it goes, deliver it.
Because I asked a question,
Shouldn't have got that.
third-class mail, an example, and I don't want to pinpoint any employees, but the former postmaster here, if it was third-class mail addressed to the street address, it would go in the trash. And to me, that's not right. But since you're the boss, that's why I'm bringing it up to you. Of course, I'm a former letter carrier, so I know.
Technically, third-class mail, we have no obligation to do anything with that costs us money.
But,
So
it
but that being the case, it should have been sorted,
to the postmaster.
technically, it should have been sorted to the rural route because that's how it was addressed.
That's what happened. It was a rural route, and she had the instructions to throw it out.
We are a very large organization, and the same rules that governed Grand Isle, Maine, govern New York City. So the reason behind that thought process is usually,
If you know the person.
if you're not in, if you're not in a big place,
Right.
you know who the person is, and so you reroute it. We're in the business to deliver mail.
Yep.
But because in the larger places, a rural carrier would have no idea where that person goes. And a lot of time, I currently have almost 90 people running offices that have to run. If you go into a new office and you don't know, it's a small town, everybody knows everybody, but it's a new place to you, that happens a lot. But if somebody, but it doesn't excuse if somebody knows where it goes, they deliver it. That's.
You know, Brian, I worked out at Grinnell, with Clint Watson there. It didn't matter where it was addressed.
Clint took care of it, didn't he?
That's right. He gave it to the proper carrier to deliver.
Yeah, and that's as it should be, as it should be, yeah.
I want to say something about what George is saying. I went through that at P.O. Box and 411 Main Street. Okay, postmaster marked that I couldn't. So I wrote to the company that the papers were coming to me, and they told me that they could not put the P.O. Box 143 on it. They had to put 411 Main Street because of the new rules and regulations for Homeland Security.
And that's
So
what
I
we're
was
up
stuck in
against.
between.
Well, you tried to order something, and you've tried to put both addresses, right?
Yeah.
Postal, we read bottom up.
Yeah.
So if you're in a P.O. box, you'd put, you know, 11 M&M Lane, and then you'd put P.O. Box 26. Yeah. But if you do business with UPS or FedEx or those places, it will say, when you punch in your order, it will say that you've not given them a valid address because you gave them a P.O. box. Or you also run into, they'll only take one field.
Yeah, but why is it those companies, they don't want to accept P.O. Box?
Well,
They don't deliver.
Because our politicians screwed it up again.
you know, the ironic thing is, we're all in cahoots. I mean, right now, I don't know how many people know it, but we do last mile deliveries for FedEx and UPS.
Yeah,
They fly our mail. You know, we're all in cahoots, and so.
That's what irks me, because I'll have packages that will come in, the UPS drops here, addressed at 351 Main Street, and I'll get those, but my Pueblo whatever magazine, addressed at 351 Main Street, I won't get it.
Yeah, that is totally different, though. We're being paid to deliver those packages for us.
But
That is
my-
totally
My
different.
magazine that goes a rural route, so I'd have to put a box inside the street plus a P.O. box here, is that what?
Well, you can get dual delivery. What I would suggest that you do, it seems that you're complaining about the prior postmaster. She's the postmaster downstate now.
Right.
So what I would suggest you do, if it happens with your new postal employee,
I don't think it would with these people.
then it's a moot point. But if it happens with her, then I bring it to her attention. She knows the rules, life goes on.
Okay.
Yeah. You also notice on the bottom of this that I passed out, it shows you the offices that are closest to you. One thing that happened with the 246 post plan is any office that was not a 246 then became a hub office. So this office is actually going to be overseen by the Madawaska Post Office, and April Pelletier is here, and she's the postmaster in Madawaska. We're not real sure what that looks like right now as far as what her duties will be, but basically it's better than having me in charge of the office downstate 9 hours away. Now you've got somebody locally that's going to be the liaison between the district and any issues that you have with your local post office. So that's a plus as far as this goes, in my opinion. And again, no change in Saturday delivery. What you're gonna see is probably a couple of weeks out, there'll be postings that come to the Grand Isle Post Office that she will post, and it will let you know when your new hours are effective, when the change is effective. We don't have to wait for the 24-hour lobby because there's no modification that needs to be done here.
Okay.
Okay? So that's going to happen right away. If any of you do have rural delivery, you do know that your rural carrier can provide a lot of services for you as far as, you know, your money orders, buying stamps, taking your packages. You know, so if any of you do get rural delivery, you kind of got a post office on wheels over there anyway.
Is there possibilities of having a stamp machines reinstated in the
No.
inside buildings?
No.
No, even the stamp machines that we had, most of them have been removed.
Yeah.
They do not pay for themselves, and if you were in Presque Isle, you know,
Yeah.
they break down continually,
Right on.
they're vandalized continually, and we're certainly not gonna put them in a facility that we're gonna leave open 24 hours a day. So, no, don't see that at all. But, again, you know, you can do stamps by mail. I mean, if you're in a situation where you work out of town or whatever, and you're just not around when post offices are open, you know, you can still do the stamps by mail. And you can also order stamps online if you so choose. If you do that, though, make sure you put in Grand Isle's zip code so she gets credit.
Is there a possibility of having larger boxes, like those cluster boxes where you can put a package and you put it
Parcel
inside.
lockers?
Yeah. I mean, if you're only gonna be open 4 hours a day here.
Yeah, yeah,
There's room.
there is a
Yeah.
possibility, yeah, she's got two units that aren't even full. So, yeah, there is a
You got place for
possibility.
4 or 5.
More than you'd need,
Yeah.
more than you'd need. That is a possibility. Remember, though, that's a cost. And so we can ask. It may or may not be approved, and if it's approved, it may or may not happen in the near future. I guess the best way to put it.
Well, you're gonna save a lot of money here by doing it 4 hours, and just, don't buy a coffee for a week and do it.
Don't do what?
Don't buy your coffee for a week and you'll have money.
Don't buy my coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I hope you're not gonna depend on my savings.
I know you don't drink coffee, that's what I'm saying.
Any other questions about the post plan?
So we don't have much of a say on the 4 hours. It's 4 hours and it's not 5. We're stuck on the 4. So
4 hours.
Next year, but,
January 14.
okay.
January 14, a change would be effective September 14.
You mentioned a while ago that we would be under Madawaska. Post office would be
Yes, yes.
Overlooked, overseen.
oversee, but
Yes.
you didn't mention Saint David. What's happening in
This,
Saint
this
David?
this is just to tell you, St. David's gonna be under you too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to St. David tonight also. But this is just to tell you who's close by. What are the 3 offices closest to this, okay? And St. David is gonna be in the same situation as Grand Isle. Madawaska and Van Buren are both level 18s, and they both will be open. In fact, neither one of them closes for lunch, so they both will be open most of the day, whatever it is.
8:30 to 4.
Your window is 8:30 to 4.
Yes.
You know, like if a child calls and, oh, I gotta have you express something, you know, we need you to know where you can go to do that. Not real convenient, but at least it's an option.
But anyways, here you're guaranteeing that the dispatch will be picked up, and that's a big thing. That's a big plus because,
Just let me say, I'm not guaranteeing somebody else's actions, but if it doesn't get picked up, somebody probably is gonna lose their job, or at the very least get
No, if
disciplined.
I'm not
I'd go
picking
that
up
far
the
for
same-
you.
If our mail pickup is at 2:15, then basically it's situation normal for people
Doesn't
with the
change.
stamps and stuff like that.
Right.
Because that was a big concern. After 11:30, we may have mail going out or don't.
Mhm.
The town office, they were concerned because the process they're building, by the time they get done, it's like
Sure.
1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a plan. You got a plan. You know, let you know what you're working with. But like I say, the announcement will be posted within a couple of weeks, and it'll give you the effective date. There aren't, and this is a nice representative group, but it's not a real lot of people. So, you know, spread the word, because we don't send out any individual mailing to let people know it's a posting at the office.
Do you see that since the internet is out and all that stuff, that did have a big effect on post office across the nation?
Absolutely. Our mail volume is down, in the last 2 years, our mail volume is down more than 25%, yet our possible deliveries, the deliveries that we're going to, that's costing us money, go up more than 1 million per year. So we're going to a lot more places, delivering a lot less mail. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for several years, there's nothing special about the Postal Service, we're just another company in trouble.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully this post plan is gonna help us turn things around.
Is there any possibilities of expanding the business, like, some ATM machines, stuff like that? I mean, you see all
All of
those
that.
stores, they get those
All
little
of that
ATM
stuff's
machines
being
and
looked
they're
at, there's a lot of
collecting money.
pilot programs going on right now, all of that thinking outside of the box stuff is being done.
I even offer to put a coffee pot in here and sell coffee.
Not gonna buy any, knock yourself out.
Or the-
Anything else?
Around this, they raised the postage rate up more.
You did notice postage is going up.
Oh, I know.